Hello again, everybody. It's Landon from the Morgan County Chess Club, and today we're going to be talking about a couple different attacking ideas when it comes to chess and how to implement them into your games to improve your rating and improve your game and strategy altogether. So, when it comes to first starting at chess, we went over some of the basics in the first episode, but this time we're going to try and implement some actual strategy into using our minor developed pieces like our knights and our bishops and our rooks, along with our queen to create attacking maneuvers against our opponent. And the first thing we're going to be talking about today is something called a battery. So a battery in chess is whenever you use two or more pieces to either win a piece or checkmate the opponent. So I'm going to be showing you a couple different batteries and how they work in accordance with what you typically see in a normal game of chess. You'll see the same kind of battery tactics used, usually, including a queen and a bishop and a queen and a rook, and how it. Sorry, excuse me. And how you will be seeing these kind of attacks as you play chess, and how you will get used to defending the certain attacks or implementing the certain attacks yourself. So, I've already got the position loaded up here, and in this position right here, we have our battery started with our bishop and our queen. And so, as you can tell, we've got them both on the same diagonal, which means they're attacking the same square over on G7. So, oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. When you have a battery set up like this, there's actually a checkmate in this position for white. So, you should be able to see it. If you can't, I'm about to show you how. So this queen can take this pawn on G7, and it's checkmate because the king can't take back the queen, because if he did, the bishop would be attacking the king. So you usually want to use two or more pieces in your attack in chess in order to win the game or win pieces. And that's why the queen is so handy, because it goes hand in hand with every piece on the board. So now that we've looked at that position, we will go on to another one, which is going to be a queen and a rook. And we're going to look at a couple different checkmates as well after we look at this one. So, in this position right here, you have a battery with the queen and the rook on the H file. They are both attacking and controlling this whole H column right here. And one thing I want you guys to get used to is you might see a free piece right now that would be better for you, that would typically in a game be good to get, which is bishop takes that rook. Because if you take that rook with the bishop, you're winning material, technically. But you need to be able to see, even though you might win material, you need to see if you actually have a checkmating idea on the board, because checkmate is more important than winning pieces, because that's the game, it's over. So, a lot of people, whenever you're first starting out in chess, they just go after those pieces, go after the pieces, go after the pieces. What you need to really start doing is looking for the attacking ideas and looking at how to win the game, because that will get you a lot higher in skill level before just taking pieces off the board. So, say white did take that rook right there. He can just, if he takes back, he's still going to be getting checkmated if white sees it. But he doesn't have to take back. He could easily just go there, and now you no longer have checkmate, and the game is still drawn out. So, if you see this queen and rook both on this H file, see that square it's attacking on H7? That's the square that we're going to checkmate on. So, queen takes H7. That should be checkmate. It might just not be telling me, yeah. But that's checkmate. So, I guess my chess.com's glitched. But, so, that's checkmate. There's nothing you can do from that position, and that would be the game. So, now that we're done with that one, we're going to be moving on to basic theory that is, not theory, excuse me, a basic checkmate, which is called the back rank checkmate. in chess. And what that refers to as when you hear back rank, it is always the last row on the board, either for black or for white. So the one that's on the black side, of course, is the 8th rank, and the one on the white side is the 1st rank. So, in this position, white has a move that can checkmate the king. And so, what you need to realize is look with your rook and see where it could go up and checkmate the king, which is all the way on e8. So, something that you need to learn in chess is that whenever you have your king unsupported on this back row, he's very susceptible to getting checkmated. Unless you move one of your pawns out in front of your king, so it gives him an extra square to move to, because otherwise he only has the f and the h square to move to. So, white, all he has to do is take his rook, set it right there on e8, and it's checkmate. So see, it showed me checkmate there. I don't know why it didn't on my other board. I think that's quite strange. But, so when it comes to the back rank mate, it's pretty simple. It can either be with a queen or it can be with a rook. And it's always on the back row when the king cannot move anywhere because it can't go to the side because it's still being attacked by the rook. And there's no pawn moved out in front of it. See, because let's say white didn't do that and black played his pawn up. After you check the king has a square he can go forward to, and it's no longer checkmate. So, let's go on to our next position, which is a blank board. I must have not had that one set up. Here, let's go back. I'm going to be showing you another back rank mate, but it's just going to be a different analysis. Let me get it set up here. But one thing you guys need to realize whenever you're starting to play chess and get used to it is that checkmate is the ultimate goal, not winning pieces, because winning pieces is a big step into winning games, but 9 times out of 10, your opponent's not going to just throw pieces at you, and it will just go to an endgame if you don't find the attacking pattern in the middle of the game. So, you've just got to get used to that idea and learn how to slow down your time taking when it comes to playing chess, because chess really is a slow game, and it's meant to be played slowly and methodically, like actual thought put into it. And I know that a lot of people like the idea that they can get their moves done quicker and make their opponent think, but if you don't think about your moves longer than 10 seconds, unless you're playing bullet or blitz, of course, like I said, but we don't play that really that much at our club, and there's no point to really just talk about it at the level that you guys are at, because slow chess is the important chess that we need to be learning, and that's what you need to learn how to play with first before you start moving on to the more demanding time controls such as blitz or bullet. So, in this position, white has a checkmate in 2, but it looks like you would have to lose your queen for it. A lot of people get scared of the idea when they're first starting out to throw their queen off the board, which is very understandable and is a good idea to have in your mind. But when it comes to finding a checkmate, if you have to sacrifice a piece for that checkmate, it is still the best thing to do. You've just got to make sure 120% that the piece you are sacrificing actually has compensation or has results for the reason for sacrificing. So, you got your queen and you got your rook both lined up on the c file, all the way attacking e8. So, if I play my queen to e8, check. King can't go to f8 and it can't go to h8. So the rook take my queen. That's the only move. And then my other rook on e1 takes the rook on e8, and that ends up being checkmate. So that is another form of battery as well, because we're using 2 or more pieces for an attack. Like I described earlier, I'm going to show you another form of battery as well with the queen and bishop, and it's going to be in a more complicated position. And I'm going to show you how that how you need to really get in the learning tree of forming attacks on your opponent's king side. On your opponent's king, and really implementing strategy into your game of chess. So let's go set up another position. Sorry, you guys are just gonna have to bear with me. I know this is kind of boring to just sit here and watch somebody set up chess positions, but I thought I had all my positions ready. Apparently I did not. Must have just... I'm also making this video at 2 o'clock in the morning because I don't know. I don't know why I chose this time of the night to make it, but that's what I thought would be the best time. So we're just going to have to roll with it and see how it goes. But if you guys have any ideas for something you would like to see that you believe would be more helpful to your game than what I have been discussing, feel free to let me know, because I'm not going to be offended at all. Because I really am just trying to go around the waters to see what would be the best way to help you guys. Because I'm just thinking how I would have learned the best. It might not be the best for you individually, but I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to make the videos that I would have liked to see whenever I was learning how to play chess or learning how to better myself at the game of it. So, we are in this position. It is white to move. There's an attack right here with the queen and the bishop on this diagonal. But, okay, so we're attacking h7, but why can't we take that pawn on h7 right now? What happens if we take that pawn on h7 with our queen currently? I'll give you a second to think. There's a piece defending that pawn besides the king, which is if I come up here and take that pawn, all he has to do is take back with his knight, and I just gave him a queen for free. So that's why I said you need to make sure 120% that you are correct when you are sacrificing a piece, even though that's not meant to be a sacrifice, that's meant to be a checkmate. So, what we need to do is remove that knight that is defending that square, a concept known as removing the defender in chess, which is something I'm trying to just slowly, I'm going to show you a little bit at a time to get that concept down. It's really a little bit higher of a rating concept, I believe, is removing the defender, because that's for once you've got the basics and stuff down at chess, then you'll start getting into more theoretical tactics like that. So, how do we get rid of this knight on f6 right now, so we can checkmate on h7? Look at all the pieces on the board. Can we take that knight with this rook? Can we take it with that rook? How about any of these pawns? Any of these pawns close enough to take that knight? No. So, we have a bishop on c3, and it's I am the knight all the way on f6. So the best thing to do in this position is to take the knight. And after he takes back with his pawn, we have queen h7, checkmate. End of the game. King can't take back, king can't move forward, king can't move to the side. So if black knew any better, and just, after I took that knight and didn't take back with the pawn and just moved h6, you best not jump on the, oh, well, not h6, sorry, I said the wrong thing. But if he goes g6, you no longer have checkmate here, but you do have a very formidable position. So that's the only way black can avoid checkmate if it's white's turn in this position. But all in all, I was just wanting to make this short video as more of a, I want to go with like a building block concept for you guys when it comes to the 100 to 300 range. And this playlist isn't going to be that long of a playlist, because I think it should be one of the shorter ones. Because 100 to 300, once you just start implementing some of these small things, you'll shoot right past 300, and you'll go into the 400 to, that my next section is going to be 301 to 599. We're going to do 301 to 599, or just 300 to 600. And in that range, that's where we're going to cover a lot more concepts. That one will be a lot longer of a playlist, I believe. But for this one, I think some of these small things that you need to be able to know about are batteries, which includes 2 or more pieces, attacking the same square in order to either win material or checkmate the opponent. And then we also discussed a back rank mate. One of the common checkmates that you need to look for in chess, it always includes either the back rank of your opponent or watch out for yourself on the back rank of the position that you're playing from. And I introduced a very small concept, a very little bit amount of, goodness, if I could talk, a very tiny amount of a concept called sacrificing when I showed you that queen sacrifice for the mate and 2 checkmate on back rank. Sacrificing pieces is a big concept, and it's very, very hard to get down when it comes to being 100% correct all the time, and it's really something that I will show you guys little by little in each lesson, but until I get to the higher, more intermediate players lessons, you're not going to see a bunch of sacrifices because I just want to teach you strong fundamentals that you can implement into your game of chess. But with all that, I believe I will try and make another video, maybe make either 1 or 2 more videos for this course of 100 to 300, and then I might move on to the next one. Or I might even just start that one and just teach both of them at the same time, kind of thing. But all in all, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I know you hear a bunch of ums and buts and whatever, and it's just because I'm not used to speaking on camera all the time and really doing this kind of thing. But if you guys have any suggestions, of course, just let me know. You don't have to comment on the video or whatever. You could just send me a message about what you think would be a better concept to be teaching, or a better, or something that you liked about what I was teaching, or just whatever feedback you guys have, and I appreciate your time. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night, or morning, or day. Thank you guys.